I know people are going to say this challenge sounds pretty easy, but what you need to understand is that the average eyesight for people that are short-sighted is -2, and I'm -8. So yeah, this challenge is pretty hard, but for right now we're just chopping trees. But then we meet the actual problem of this challenge: crafting. See, when I'm running around in the overworld, I don't really need to see the fine details, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But with crafting, it doesn't really work like that. I invent ways to overcome this problem later in the run, but for now, this is what we got. Anyway, stone tools in hand, I start making my way through the forest in the search for iron, because I need protection, man. Here I think about going down this cave, but quickly changed my mind. I then found this crevice, which became my base of operations. Listen, if you thought I was going to brave it in the wild when it takes me a minute to craft a pickaxe, then you're dumb. I eventually smelted my iron, crafted a shield, and as night fell, I was ambushed by mobs, and I died. But I'm not in hardcore, so I just respawned, walked back to my stuff, and then I could actually start making some progress. The real reason I was out here was for sheep to make a bed, but when in a forest with white trees, I was easily fooled. I eventually came across this small white creature, which I thought was a sheep, but it was actually a wolf. In hindsight, I don't know how I didn't know I was a wolf. I mean, sheep are huge. But anyways, and then I found this structure and I thought, oh my god, I found a village. And then I got a bit closer and I saw it was my house. Are you starting to see the problem here? Anyways, I stole my own bed, and if you think it's cheating, then I'd agree, but I also wouldn't care. I made my way home and I was able to set my spawn at my base of operations, not after losing it in the chest for a bit. And then this is where my true genius started to shine. I needed more iron because I hadn't got enough from the caves that I'd explored, and I knew the best Y level to find iron was Y15. But how could I know what Y level I was on if I couldn't use F3? Well, that's where C level comes in. You see, the C always spawns at Y level 62, so by mining down exactly 47 blocks, I'd reach Y15. I began mining enough iron for iron tools and a full set of iron armor. I even found something that would come in handy later in the video. To craft these items, I used new techniques that I'd learned, such as one I like to call hotbarring, where I would move the items to my hotbar so I could see it in my hand rather than in my inventory. This allowed me to better identify items, but also leads into my next technique called drop counting. This involved dropping my items to count them. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, but with these techniques I was able to craft iron tools, iron armor, and a bucket. And now I could begin the long and arduous journey to find a lava pool. Found it. Now the Nether is where the real challenge begins. Problem 1. There's mobs everywhere. It's safe to say my reaction time isn't the fastest without my glasses, making it very hard to deal with all the mobs. In this moment, I couldn't even tell I was on half a heart, or that I was being shot at. These piglins could be dealt with by using gold boots I made from gold that I got from mining. But what about hoglins? Well, we'll deal with this later. Problem 2. Bartering. I need a lot of gold for bartering to get ender pearls, but luckily by bridging this way I came across a bastion, which I only just made out. But better yet, this was a bridge bastion which had a huge pile of gold at the entrance. If I could go on the bastion and get all the gold, well then I'd be golden. Alright, the plan was set. Now all I needed to do was...
Game menu.
What was that? I don't even really want to talk about this, was how useless it ended up being, but I thought narrator mode would help me in this challenge. I thought it would read off what item I'm hovering over, similar to how it works in the menu, which it didn't. I did get this though.
Selected Pen Island.
That's about the most use it got. Anyway, with an iron pickaxe, I could finally start making my way to get the gold. But this time I've definitely got it. Well, looks like this is the end. I had already accepted that my 16 gold blocks were going straight in the lava, until I realised, wait a second, I can just turn back. I've got blocks, I can just pillar up. And then there's piglins. Piglins don't like hoglins. And then... well, that problem sorted itself out. I returned to my base and could finally begin bartering. All I had to do was capture a piglin and give it gold boots so it wouldn't despawn. And after all that bartering, I ended up with 8 end pearls. Not enough to enter the end, but a good start. I'll continue with this later, but for now, we need to focus on problem 3. I can't find a fortress. I found the bastion by pure luck, but finding a fortress wouldn't be as easy. I finally got to this point where I could use my secret weapon that I got from earlier, a spyglass. I think it's fair to say my vision isn't the best without my glasses, but a spyglass would give me a focused and zoomed in image. But I couldn't find a fortress, so I just carried on bridging. And then, ironically, when making the bridge safer, I died. And then, when I got to the end of the bridge, there was a fortress. I hate this game. Anyways, I quickly made a shelter and prepared to fight blazes. One thing that I really haven't talked about up to this point is combat, because it isn't actually made that much harder. You can see mobs pretty fine, and you could even use F3 and B to show hitboxes to make it even easier. I guess that just boosted my confidence. I felt like Billy Big Balls and just went in and died, obviously. I then respawned, got some iron armor, and got some fire resistance potions that I got from bartering, but it appeared that my problems hadn't stopped yet. Because I was now wearing my iron armor, I forgot to wear any gold armor and died to the piglins. They then picked up all my items, and this caused a loop where I'd respawn, go back, die, respawn, go back, die, until I eventually killed them. Okay, enough distractions, now we can actually start killing blazes. Like I said, it's pretty easy, unless you can't see your fire resistance running out, which I couldn't, but I was fine. I then proceeded to kill 17 blazes. By drop counting, I knew I had 10 blaze rods. This was enough to go to the end. I then carefully went home with the blaze rods on half a heart, and we could begin the final part of the nether. Problem 2.5. I still need my ender pearls. It wasn't that hard, it just took a while. I would just mine gold nuggets and then barter them, and I did that for about 2 hours. But you probably want to see me just get out of the nether, so let's do that. This was all the stuff that I was taking to the end fight, and now we could start the search for the stronghold. now finally I can end this challenge. I began by trying to shoot the crystals, but that obviously didn't work, so I started pithering out. And with this final crystal, it was only me versus the dragon. And the spyglass would finally come in handy because I'd be able to better identify where the dragon is. Yeah, just kidding. F-ray and B was better, but it was almost useful. All in all, this challenge took a month to complete because of how annoying it was to record, and I died a total of 42 times, which is somehow less than I expected.